Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to cover the most essential chess tactics that everybody must know. These tactics are going to help you win more games, set up more powerful attacks, and avoid blunders. So let's dive right in. A fork is one of the most common and powerful tactics in chess. It happens when one of your pieces attacks two or more of your opponent's pieces simultaneously, forcing them to lose material. Knights are especially good at doing this because they can attack in multiple directions at once. For example, in this position, the knight on g5 can capture the f7 pawn, forcing black to save one of their pieces, leading to them losing material on the next turn. But forks aren't just for knights. Pawns, bishops, queens, and even kings can deliver devastating forks. Next up, we have the pin, a tactic that traps a piece in place as moving it would expose something even more valuable. For example, the bishop has completely pinned the knight to the king, making it unable to move. We can move our pawn to d5 and completely get rid of this knight. There are two types of pin. Absolute pin, this is when a piece cannot move at all because the king is behind it. The second type being relative pin. This is when the piece can move, but doing so would lose material. Pins are great for restricting your opponent's pieces, but be careful as your opponent may try the same tricks on you. A skewer is very similar to a pin, but instead of trapping a weaker piece, it forces the stronger piece to move, exposing the weaker piece behind it. For example, the bishop can move to c4 with a check, and as the king moves, we can take the rook. So skewer is like a reverse pin and is an excellent way to gain an advantage. Now let's talk about discovered attack, where when one piece moves, it reveals an attack from another piece, putting your opponent into serious trouble. In this example, the bishop captures the g7 pawn, attacking the rook and also attacking the queen with your rook. So when your opponent saves their queen, you can take their rook for free. A discovered check is like a discovered attack, but with a check added in. So when their king is in check, they need to respond to it first, often leaving the other pieces unattended. For example, the knight can move to c6 and you have a check with your queen. So when they save their king, you can take their queen for free. This is why discovered checks are one of the most powerful tactics. You know what's better than a discovered check? A double check. This happens when two of your pieces give a check, one by the piece moving and the other by discovered attack. This is especially great for forcing the king into a checkmate. And in this position, we have combined it with another tactic being the fork. Now let's move on to one of the most common checkmating patterns in chess, the back rank mate. This happens when your opponent's king is stuck behind its own pawns. A rook or a queen can easily deliver a checkmate. To avoid falling for this, make sure your king has an escape route beforehand. And that wraps up the basics of chess tactics. We've covered pins, skewers, forks, discovered attacks, and more. That's all for today. Thank you.